Hey, did you know that IFA happened in Berlin this week?
It did?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
There hasn't been that much news coming out of Germany since the wall fell.
Welcome, everyone, once again to the Wingman and Vandal Show. I'm Wingman.
And I'm Vandal.
And since we're on the other side of the wall, after cracking up about the intro for a hot second, we thought we'd divulge and give you some of the great news that is coming from IFA in Germany. A lot of stuff happened.
A lot of big news. A lot of big devices being launched.
Sony had a slew of
phones,
at least 3 or 4
devices, and all over across the board.
Yes. Samsung had a massive amount of devices. 4 for sure.
Well, I mean, not just like mobile devices, but they also televisions, and Panasonic had a few big TVs being launched.
Onkyo was even there too. They had.
I didn't even know they made stuff anymore.
I was not aware. I was like, I thought like the last catalog was like from 3 or 4 years ago. I was like, yeah, they're still kicking.
Yeah.
Who else? You would know this. You sent your audio head. Audio Technica was there.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty exciting. Good old Akron-based company.
Yes. A lot of good stuff coming out. So we thought we'd like to give you folks a small sample of what Berlin, Germany's IFA 2014 had for you. And obviously we can't divulge everything because there's not enough time in the world right now for this episode to do that. So we're going to start going into the news. All right, folks, so we're going to hit the ground running with this. So we're going to start off with something that happened last Friday, actually. It wasn't at IFA specifically.
No.
More of a press release that we found out. Motorola, since Dan's one of the nice supporters of Motorola here, especially the Moto 360, which is available now, but it's sold out.
Right.
We don't know if the stock will be replenished when this video is published. We can hope.
Right. But as of today, it's sold out, which is actually a good thing. That means that people are actually going out and buying it, and the product is doing very well, which is great news for Motorola, considering that they've been sold twice within 2 years, and it's still kind of hanging over them like the sword of Damocles, whether or not Lenovo is going to be the major owner of Motorola.
Because now the custom Moto plant's going to be over in China. They opened a plant up there since they're getting more international. But the nice part, too, is they say they'll still have a week turnover for the custom phones from Moto Maker. Speaking of that, the new Motorola X, the 2014 edition, has come out. Not to be confused with the 2013 edition. This is kind of like HTC with the M8s. But I think Dan and myself can agree here for sure that the new Moto X that came out this year is actually a well-welcomed representation of what the phone should be.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The first one was great.
Right.
We didn't like the 720p screen.
No.
It wasn't the best.
No.
And the camera.
Right.
Camera was complete garbage out the box. They did some updates, though. It did help. But in the end, overall, it was dead out of the water. But the new Moto X has a 1080p display, which is actually increased in size from 4.7 to 5.2.
Yep.
A little bigger. It's not bad.
Not bad.
Still able to do it working in one-hand operation.
Right. And it's got that monster camera on the back of it.
Oh, geez, that camera is huge.
It's awesome.
13-megapixel camera. Hopefully we can find some sample shots and get them going for you guys, because from the ones we've skewed over so far, there's not many that have floated around yet. They look amazingly better than the last camera.
Yeah.
There is a front-facing speaker on it. One, though. Not
just
two.
one.
Just one.
Weird.
It is kind of weird, because it gives you that boom. It's like HTC. It gives you the front speaker effect, but it's not the same.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing else that compares.
Right.
And also coming out, the new Moto 360, as we said, is out. And then there's also a little Bluetooth headset that came out called,
The Hint.
The Hint.
Motorola Hint.
It's kind of weird, but it's kind of nice.
It reminds me of like a hearing aid. It's very tiny, goes into your ear.
Yeah, it's literally just
goes
here.
Into your ear.
It doesn't go over the ear, and there's a little piece sticking out like a Plantronics headset would have. No, it's just a little dab. It's like probably the size of a nickel.
Right. Kind of bothers me though. Bet you a whole bunch of people are gonna lose it, and it's gonna be so expensive.
Well, hopefully there's a way that it sits in there, like if it's sit inside the lobe piece on your ear.
Right.
Hopefully. The nice part too about it though is that you just ask it questions. It's what's the most interesting one? It's like Iron Man's Jarvis interface. That's about the best way I can put it. It's similar to that, where you just kind of ask it questions on the fly by using the hot word for OK Google or OK Moto in this case, and it just gives you all the information you want right then and there. Like, say, like how many calories in a banana, how many calories in an apple, call my mom, call my dad, send a text message out, give me directions to home while walking. It'll just respond to it, and you don't have to bring your phone out. It's finally, we're starting to get to the hands-free version of the phone.
Right.
That's where we're finally getting accessories, which is nice too. And on the final note, because we can't leave this out, the Moto E, which is a very budget-friendly phone for a lot of people that are probably on Cricket, I believe, is a more lower subsidy company. For people.
Cricket. Yeah, Cricket's. Yeah.
Cricket, AIO was one. That's AT&T's variant, I believe. And then there's any of the postpaid plans. But this phone only costs $179, I believe, right out the door. That's it. Flat price. That's the whole phone. It's a very budget-conscious phone, but it's still a smartphone, so it gives you the benefits of Android, and it gives you the Play Store, and it doesn't really bust your wallet.
No. So we were talking about IFA, and it was really exciting for me. I'm a big-time Sony fan. I have been for a long time.
Too long.
A little too long. But I was really actually impressed with the devices that they announced at IFA.
Sony had a good lineup.
Sony had a great lineup. Apparently the number 3 is a big thing with them this year because they have the Xperia Z3 phone, which is the flagship.
Yep.
And it is the cornerstone for pretty much the rest of the devices that they launched. Along with the Z3 smartphone, they have the Z3 Compact, which is a phone that is identical to the Z3, but a little smaller.
Just a little, not much.
They had the Z3 tablet, which is identical to the Z3 phone.
In a 1080p
just in a 1080p 10.1 inch size form factor. Identical though. And then, of course, the Smartwatch 3, which is it was a little disappointing.
If you didn't know, though, they've been doing smartwatches, obviously.
They have been for quite some time, and nobody's really unfortunately for them, nobody's really paid attention.
Well, I mean, also, too, there's really no software cavat to be like, here's a standard that you can go at. They just kind of, they probably did a lot of R&D on it, but it's like, here, let's see if this idea works on the smartwatch. And
right.
It's like, hey, it's good, but it might need this and this, and then they go tinker it some more. Now, with Android Wear, too, there's at least something where it's like, hey, the software's going to be this way, so all we got to do is just the product design on the layouts.
Right. I do think that was actually really cool about the smartwatch is that you can actually remove the face from the band.
Yeah.
I mean, not like taking off the bands like the other smartwatches, like your Moto 360s or your LGs, but I mean the band itself has a bezel and it pops out. It pops right out of the watch, so you can put it into, unfortunately, another Sony designed band. Hopefully they can come out with some better looking designs, but it seems like
there'll be third-party knockoffs
at some point. Yeah. But it seems like that face piece has little rails on it as well, so you could probably attach actual bands. It looks like it did.
Well, Fathom too, you might be able to do like a clip harness, like up here, like a lapel setup, or maybe something on your belt, even. So there is a lot of design still left that you could do into this.
Yeah,
it would be pretty nice.
But what I was really excited for was the Z3 phone. I think it's their flagship. It's a powerful device. It's nowhere near, say, your LG G3s or your Note 4s, but it's not really trying to be.
That camera, though, is...
The camera is going to be... It's going to be...
20.7 megapixels. That is a powerhouse of a camera on a phone.
And, of course, using Sony's image sensors, which are industry standard.
Which would be their... I believe it's probably their CMOS sensor.
Probably.
I think is the latest. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm not a lens aficionado. So
I wouldn't like to call myself one either. But
no.
It's going to have a Snapdragon 801, 3 gigabytes of RAM, yada, yada, yada. The usual specs that are bouncing around nowadays.
5.2-inch screen, I believe, for the record.
Screen.
Very nice.
And for all you PlayStation nuts out there, it's going to have PlayStation integration into the phone.
It's the only one that is PlayStation Portable certified.
Yes.
Right now, it's the only mobile phone that is. So if you want to play PlayStation on your phone, you can.
You can. I mean, like, you can literally play PlayStation games. They're even Sony has even created a bracket system that attaches to your PlayStation 4 DualShock 4 that clips onto your Sony Xperia Z3, and you can sit there and play PlayStation games using the Bluetooth coming out of the DualShock 4 and mating it with the phone.
It'd be just like the Moga controller.
It would be just like the Mogas,
just for the core games, but now you're playing a PlayStation game.
And I would imagine they would probably do the same with the compact and the tablet a little bit down the line.
The compact's probably certified, but I didn't brush up on that, and I can't recall if they said that one specifically when I watched the conference was going to be. I know they said the Z3 was for sure.
Absolutely.
But I can't recall the comments. But
I'm just saying, I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be a fun phone, and it might happen to be my next one. Sorry, HTC.
For the record, too, for people that don't know, it's the Sony line, the Z2 even, and the first Z iteration of the phones, they were never really in the United States.
Right.
They were more in the UK and Europe and over there. So T-Mobile actually officially confirmed after the announcement of Sony's that it's coming to T-Mobile.
Right.
And hopefully we can get it on a few more carriers in here.
Right, because I think that a phone like that has the capability to be really popular here in the States.
We need something of that meticulous standard.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, all the phones are great, but what Sony does for seeing their phones, it works, and there's no stupidness in it, and it's very minimal. So as most of you know, we love Samsung, but we hate Samsung.
Yes.
It's literally the best love-hate relationship we can describe in our own real-life worlds. But
I would like to say, I love Samsung, but I hate with a burning, blood-curdling passion.
Second this. I will second that.
TouchWiz.
TouchWiz.
Jeez, I'm so sick of TouchWiz. I wish they would change it. I'm almost excited for Tizen just because I think that they're gonna get rid of TouchWiz.
I'd be excited for Tizen if they could get rid of that 3 GB system amount that they dump onto the.
That's fine. I mean, I don't care. I just want to see something different than TouchWiz. It's so boring.
Well, think of that
it's
though.
So
You
plain.
have
that blue outline layout nonsense, and then the icons, and then that stupid font that you can switch.
No, that's fixed.
Is it?
Comic Sans is gone.
Alright.
The current version of Samsung, which started in the S5, because this guy didn't get up to date yet.
No, I don't want it.
They got rid of the Comic Sans, they flattened the icons out, and they made it more, this is the best way I can put it, they made it more professional.
It still looks like TouchWiz.
It still has the same iterations of TouchWiz.
Still looks like TouchWiz.
Yes.
I hate TouchWiz. It reminds me of MotoBlur, and MotoBlur was better.
Yes, MotoBlur was better, especially when it started out on the Defy. But anyways.
So Samsung launched a whole bunch of crazy devices. I mean, they just... I like the word that... was it Android Central or was it Droid Life? I can't remember, but they used the word...
5 solid
They used the word onslaught.
Yes,
it was an onslaught of devices, and they're all different in their own way. Unlike, say, Sony that had pretty much the same device across all platforms. Yes. Samsung launched, besides the Note 4 and the Note Edge, they're all different devices.
Yes, but they're all really good in their own way.
Yes.
And some of them are quite unique. So we're going to dive right into the one that we already talked about previously, the Samsung Gear S. Their version of the smartwatch, I should say their third version, I believe. Or fourth, don't hold me to it, I can't count today. As Dan previously stated in the previous video, and we'll put a link down there in case you want to check it out. It's a very, very nice display watch because Samsung loves Super AMOLED.
Right.
They're all about it. It's a curved display, like we said previously, pardon me, in the last video, where instead of just a watch face where it's flat and round and kind of bulky like this, I know it's not the best seeing, but it contours to the wrist and the arm, so it really doesn't feel like it's there, and it feels like a bracelet. But it's a really great device. It runs Android Wear, or no, I'm sorry, it runs Tizen.
It runs
the Tizen OS from Samsung.
So done with just everything.
Everything TouchWiz.
Everything TouchWiz.
No.
I mean, it wouldn't even run TouchWiz. It would run Android Wear, if anything, but I'm just so done with it.
So, we're going to dive right into
the Galaxy Note 4.
Yes.
And the Galaxy Note Edge.
The juggernaut standard, the Galaxy Note 4 that everybody loves. And the biggest reason why all the bigger screens have come out is because of Samsung's larger screens.
The Galaxy Note 4 is one of those devices that'll make you stop and wonder if you should trade in your phone or jump up to another.
I already got people talking about it.
Yeah, I got
people on Twitter and Facebook being like, so should I trade in my Note 3 with a cracked screen, or should I just trade in this phone for a Note 4?
And the answer is, if you like the Galaxy Note line,
and you love a pen,
yes. There's the Note 4 picks up where the Note 3 left off. New camera.
16 megapixel, I believe.
16 megapixel camera with LED flash.
Yes. Dual LED flash.
Dual,
record. The infamous heart rate monitor that's on the Samsung Galaxy S5 when it first came out, and all the
fingerprint scanner.
Fingerprint scanner and the home button, which I hate the home button for the record.
It is what it is.
I hate physical home buttons.
I know.
hate the physical metal button because it's something that can infamously break. If you put it on the screen, you have to break the screen.
Right.
So it kind of alleviates moving parts, and also the fingerprint sensor. Nice, yes.
That's not
necessary. Depends on what you do. If you're more in the business end, yes, then most likely that's going to be what's for you. Note 4, though, especially with the S Pen, they've redone the S Pen again and added more features. They've added a lot more click response, more added features to it. There's, more precision as normal. And it is supposedly the first full QHD display phone.
Which is actually really, really, really exciting, and I'm
for a 5.7-inch phone. Yes, that's very
a
exciting.
little jealous because I kind of would like to watch some movies on the screen like that. I think that would be an amazing experience.
Yes,
I've got a couple friends that have Note 3s, and the viewing experience of watching video on those screens is pretty remarkable. And I can only imagine at that size in Quad HD, 4K, right? Quad HD is 4K.
Yep, Quad HD is
4K. Yeah, all these different terms, I hate it. But I can only imagine what that's going to look like.
QHD, there's so many terms.
Let's talk about the other device that I mentioned, the Samsung Galaxy Note Edge. It's pretty much a Note 4. I mean, identical. The two devices are identical, except the right side of the screen kind of just rolls off instead of just being flat, and the roll-off.
This also came out, this was demoed last year at Consumer Electronics Show.
And people thought that it was the Note 4.
Yeah, and they thought it was like, oh goodness, is this the Note 4? Oh, no, it's the Note Edge, which is a Note 4 with a curve. It actually does...
It looks like water falls off.
Like imagine the typical side of your screen on your phone. Pull your phone up. This would be a great demo for the people here. Normal edge of the screen right here.
Wait. I'll get real close.
We'll get real close for him here. Okay. Right there where this edge is at would be a screen piece right here. And it displays everything right there that's just quick action. So instead of traditionally having it where you would have all these hot icons and shortcuts for your apps and all that, it's on the side. And it's customizable, but of course it's the first time doing it, so the setup is kind of clunky. So obviously a software update will fix that.
But it's a fun idea. I think it's a great concept.
Yeah. Well, it was like we were discussing earlier, the stock ticker.
Yeah.
You can do an option for a stock ticker.
How great would that be if, you're in the business world and you would like some information on stocks, but you don't want to completely unlock your phone and have to go to your stocks app and yada yada, all that stuff. What if you could just turn on your device?
Find it.
Yeah. What if you could just turn on your device and have a ticker running across the edge line?
Yeah, you get the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones.
Yeah. Or maybe you're a sports nut. You're in your fantasy league.
You want your score going right there.
Scores and stats. Has something like that, I think, could actually be really functional at some point down the road. I think that area right now on the phone is just for buttons, but
there's
I think
buttons
they could have.
And there's a lot of customizing on it too. The nice part also too is that it's not on both sides of the phone, which I could already see. You start palming the phone and then you accidentally
hitting stuff all over the place.
Button on the side because they stay there all the time.
Right.
But we think it's kind of a nice phone, and it does give a testament to Samsung for their flexible displays that they're starting to work on. Because the next one supposedly is going to be like that. Just have foldable phones next.
Going back to the flip phones. The return of the Razr. It has been waiting in the shadows and trying to reclaim its spots in the mobile world.
So, we're almost to the end. And almost last, and actually kind of a different take for Samsung, is we're going to dive into this Samsung Galaxy Alpha. And this is actually going to be quite a quick note. It's a Samsung Galaxy S5 with a metal band wrapped around the full exterior of the phone. Now, the front and back are still plastic, but the full exterior has a metal strap. So it's kind of, that's bonus. It's a premium feel.
Right.
It's really nice. But besides that, there's really nothing else that's different. And on that note, we're going to go for something completely different now.
Right. And last but certainly not least, the last device that Samsung announced on that fateful day
the left hook.
the monster left hook was the Samsung Gear VR. And what that is essentially a wearable virtual reality headset powered by Oculus that uses a Samsung Galaxy Note 4 exclusively as the screen.
Yes, and for the record, too, you have to go get the Note 4 first.
Right.
It's completely designed through Oculus, and the price point, supposedly, it's rumored, should be around $200. Mm-hmm. Now, for a virtual reality headset, they'll give you a massive amount of display that's around you, and it's literally an Oculus Rift in your hands. Mm-hmm. That's quite impressive.
I think it's fun, and the future looks really bright for this virtual reality technology. I think with the Rift, the Rift's got some catching up to do, but that's because of wonderful Zuckerberg who bought them out. But
well, that's not the catch-up. That's what they needed.
Right.
They now have funding to actually get this thing going.
That's true.
And as you people have seen from here, the Gear VR, whereas obviously people should have figured this out, virtual reality in the case. I'm waiting for people to start walking around aimlessly.
Right. I think I left my house. I have no idea where I am. But I've been playing Minecraft for 16 and a half hours, and I'm almost done building this damn bridge.
Oh my goodness. Where's the bridge going to go?
To nowhere. It's a bridge to nowhere.
It's a bridge to this green pasture I'm going to go to.
Right. And then creepers show up, and then they destroy all your stuff. And then it's not fun anymore.
No. But the bridge was fun.
No. The virtual reality gaming and
it's the next level.
It is the next level, and I think there's a lot of potential for it, especially since you can take this little device right here in your hands and eventually with like the Gear VR, lock it into the headset, and you've got yourself a portable virtual reality console.
But as we said too, right now, if you get the Gear VR, you need the Note 4.
Need the Note 4.
It does not come with it.
Nope.
Since we can put that on the record.
It does not come with the phone.
No.
So you will, of course, have to buy your giant-sized Samsung device
maybe
for
they'll give a bundle package.
$600 or whatever, $700 or however much that ridiculous phone is retail. And then on top of that, you would, of course, buy the $200 accessory, the Gear VR. But I think that's actually not too much.
Bad.
That's not too much.
That's not a ridiculous expensive amount for a device that's readily available. I mean, sure, you need the Note 4. If you're going to get it anyway, then more for you, then you're one step closer. Mm-hmm. But to be able to do that, at least with a mobile device, too, and actually have a QHD display and a very, very big projection amount, and you're in this whole other world of anything that you want, it's quite surprising we're this close, that much closer to the next level.